Wilfred. It's Wilfred, right? Bill is short for Wilfred. Is that correct?
No, that's just some silly name because I didn't think Instagram was going to be a thing.
Oh, gotcha.
I was just looking at everyone was on MySpace, then they left that, went to Facebook, then they went to Twitter, now they're to Instagram. It just seemed like all the cool kids going around the meatpacking district back in the day, all going to the new club, but it was all the same people.
Yeah, you're right. That there were those first couple of early stops and starts with social media, because before MySpace was Friendster, and before Friendster was one called My Tribe. And so I think it was My Tribe or Tribe or something, and then Friendster. And then the big thing with MySpace was, oh my God, performers can put clips on it, and you can have like a top 8 friends. So you can really create a hierarchy of who your favorite people are for all the world to see. So that might
have started the meanness. It would have eventually gotten mean, but I think one of the first signs that it was going to be a mean thing was the top 8, top 5, whatever it was. Put me in your top 5 or whatever. The top 5 was a Chris Rock movie. Top 8, was it top 8?
It was top 8. Yeah, it was top 8, and then I think they expanded it to like 16 or 24 because they realized that it was creating a lot of friction for people in their personal relationships, because it really was a big deal to be included or excluded from someone that you thought was like one of your best friends or your family, and you weren't in their top friends.
Right. What's crazy is MySpace still exists.
It does, yeah.
It's like one of those towns where there was a nuclear meltdown and everybody left, but like Main Street is still there. I still have a page. I can still go back. I don't have my password anymore, but I can still visit my page.
I think of it like an old mining town where it's like, oh, they got all the, they depleted the copper mines, but there's still a couple people who, just keep the buildings there. You can go. I mean, you can't really stay there, but it's like you can
give tours. They give tours of the old mine shaft.
They should give ghost town tours of old social media sites.
Yeah.
And then because things do change so rapidly, it's just, it would just be like looking at sort of like when you think it's going to be really fun to play old video games because they're so nostalgic, and then you start playing them and you're like, oh, this was fun for like 10 seconds. Doesn't have the same.
Unless you're like me, where you actually stopped playing video games for the most part. I played a couple in the 80s, a little bit. Then I didn't play again for like another 10 years. I actually bought a PlayStation 1 and then 2, and it just took over my life. And I just unplugged everything because I knew I'd never be able to figure out again because I'm dumb. And I just stuck it in the back of my closet. So last games I played were Siphon Filter and Grand Theft Auto 2 or 3. I can't remember.
That was I feel like it was one of the Grand Theft Autos in the early.
It might have been the first one.
Might have been the first one.
Now that I think, I can't remember. It was so long ago.
Mine, let's see. It might have been. I want to say maybe Vice City was the one where I played a lot, or maybe a Twisted Metal
Vice City.
Game.
Yeah, that's the one I played.
And I had to, and I did the same thing where I sold all my stuff. It was around the time I got sober because I was like, shit, I really need to focus on improving my life, and I will never do anything as long as this gaming system is in my house. I've since gone back and I do play games again, but there was a period of a handful of years where I could not do it because I knew I just couldn't handle doing it in a responsible way.
Yeah, no, it's and they just kept getting better and better. I mean, I'm looking at kids now playing and they're wearing those glasses and they're jumping into TVs and stuff. And I'm just like, thank God I quit. I mean, drugs are the same way. I was never a big drugs guy, but like, I remember seeing crack babies and being like, this is it. This is as bad as it's going to get. And, then like you started seeing those before and after meth pictures where it was, you couldn't even believe it was the same person.
Right.
And it was just like, oh, well, hey, I got to hand it to this generation. They, cause I remember, it just always seemed like the older generation was always like, can you believe what these kids are doing? And I was trying to think like after seeing crack fiends, smoking on my stoop, like, it's like, what is going to shock me when I get old? And I was like, I was doing a college gig in the middle of the country, and I saw one of those before and the afters, and it's like, I was like, oh my God. I was like, oh, there it is. They did it. The youth did it.